tell you, I am the honest one. Token up and listening to rap, yeah, that happens. So let's get back to this mysterious deaths of 9/11. Looks like I'm pointing right up here, doesn't it? You know, right there. This could be any one of us. This guy is dead. Dead. He knew too much. Kenneth was a janitor at the WTC. He reported seeing explosions in the basement and upper floors of the tower. Joe Hunman reported a massive explosion in the basement of one of the Twin Towers and rescuing someone who received full-body burns from an explosion that took place at the base. Not the top of the building. Explosion at the base, not the top. On September 2008, Kenneth died from a gunshot to the head, apparent suicide. They call these suicidings. The suicide note makes it appear as if the reason for suicide was eviction. He had a large and loving family. Michael Dornan. Michael H. Dornan was a 9/11 victim lawyer who volunteered his services to help the victims of 9/11 get compensation. He died April 28, 2009 when a single-engine plane crashed in Ohio. Christopher Landis, no photo available. Former operations manager for Safety Service Patrol for the Virginia Department of Transportation. The Pentagon. You need to find out more about this stuff. All of you do. We're going to look a little bit about Deborah Palfrey. Let me fast forward here. Right here. Check this out. Deborah Palfrey, she was a madam. Whatever. Top her down, you're so just heartless. Are you one of these new sociopaths that's bred by the Democrats to be a henchman for the communist takeover of our country? I don't know. I didn't register the hypercam. Hang on. There's a clip from the Alex Jones show where interviewed Deborah Palfrey said she didn't know what was happening. Check this out. Hey, buddy, what's going on? Hang on, I just want to listen to Deborah Palfrey for a second. Hold on.
She had the best horse in D.C., brother.
Did you ever visit her or some of her prostitutes?
Not her directly, but you know, her service was top flight all the way.
So you knew a lot about that kind of stuff, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, I like to, whenever I go to a new town, you know, you like to go out and check out the restaurant, see the sights, bang a hooker. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean. I don't do that. I don't trust prostitutes. They probably have, you know, herpes or something, AIDS or whatever.
Her eyes were not so short. Check this out. She did kill herself. She hung herself. She was hanging in her shed.
That's bullshit, Dave. Are you going to tell everybody she was about to testify?
Well, she did. She was about to testify. Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Thanks for bringing it up.
They found her in the white trash dump in Florida. I mean, Jesus Christ. She's over by Randall somewhere.
You know for a fact that she was taken out?
Absolutely, without question. I mean, there's a mountain of evidence pointing in that direction, this count.
Well, then why aren't we dealing with it? Why is this country still sitting around clinging to the belief that we've got a 9/11 Commission report that said that everything was a terrorist, 17 Saudi Arabians and one Afghanistani, or I think it was an Iraqi, that supposedly were involved, and that somehow they pinned the tail on Osama bin Laden when there was no absolute linkage between him and this event. We are not going to...
comical 9/11 related events. You know Robert Mueller?
No, I don't know Robert Mueller. I know Robert Mueller, the former... go ahead.
Anyways, he was named today to be the special investigator in the Ray Rice controversy.
Right, yeah.
I mean, this motherfucker's the one who let 9/11 happen. Now we're going to put him with that in his hands.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, this is the kind of bad leadership we've got. People are getting given jobs that they don't need. Like, you know, Ken Starr, $40 million to investigate George W. Hey, excuse me, Bill Clinton.
There you go. Hey, Discount.
Thank you.
Why don't you finish strong here in the last hour, man? I'll let you get back to it.
Yeah, I really wish I could, but your call really brought us down. It kind of lowered the mood, and I wish you wouldn't do this. You know, I got to blame you for something, man.
Well, hey, at least you don't have testicular cancer like my buddy.
I didn't know you had a buddy. named Cookie. I thought Cookie was a woman. This is all new to me. Is this a real deal? I mean, is this really happening? I mean, seriously. David, come on. You don't think 9/11 was actually an inside job, do you? I didn't say that. I said that there's a lot of missing information, and I'd like to know why this man was found poisoned to death. Just a coincidence? You don't ask questions? A lot of you just stand around and go, everything's just the way you believe it? It's all nicely wrapped up in a nice little box? You just put it away? Let's just play it in one of our TV cameras here. Okay, we can dispense with that. We'll just have that playing in the background. Yeah, it's just, Rod, you notice how whenever Rodney calls, he just brings the show way down? What is that? Does he have like a negative karma or something happening? I don't get it. Okay, so these are the people basically dying, witnesses to events, and you basically don't care. Yeah, it's not an inside job, but yeah, you said it. There's a lot of questions. I'm not the only guy who believes this. Willie Nelson openly stated, to all the ladies I loved before, the inside job was there. Actually, he believes that there's a lot of questions, he said. To all the folks who believe 9/11, he has a lot of questions. Yeah, you don't care and you have no questions. That's what makes you either part of the new generation, top or down, who doesn't care about anything. I know but it's 9/11, dude. In case you haven't looked at your little computer, and at the bottom there's a little thing called a date. Check it out. Yeah, and it says 9/11 on it right now. And we're doing a little retro thing, if that's okay with you. You want to hear country music? Okay, well, let's listen to some Willie Nelson. I don't blame you. We just listened to a little Katy Perry. Let's bring on Willie Nelson. Now, Willie Nelson was not one of the Nelson twins. He's the guy that we all grew to love for his ugly, old, haggard look. No, actually, he's a good-looking guy. But I can see why he was saying, to all the girls I love. What do you mean, good-looking? This guy looks just like me. This is amazing. To all the girls I loved before, to each and every one aboard. Yeah, I could be him. Okay. To all the girls I loved before. He is a pothead. Well, he has a lot of acreage, I heard. A good-looking guy, yeah. So whenever I say bad things, I'm really talking about myself, because you can see I look a lot like this guy. I could be a dead ringer for him. Yeah, it's amazing. I never realized how much we look alike. So yeah, I don't really have a high opinion of my look, apparently. The look of love. It's not because you don't care, freak. You guys were little kids living on Slurpees, being fed fluoridated water 13 years ago. We still care, but if there is some sort of a problem where the government looked the other way, or the government was running some sort of a side operation in the background at the time that happened to be the exact same thing, that's what some people are saying. This show does not suck. Okay, we're going to go to the after show in just a second. 6 more minutes to the after show, and then the show gets good. So hang in there. Man, you the mother delusional. No, you are, sir. I don't even know why I have to waste my breath talking to the people that just don't believe in what we're doing here. It's more like an afterbirth. Well, aren't you the clever one? Well, isn't that super special? Hang on just a second. You want Willie Nelson? We got Willie Nelson. Yeah, I mean, what better guy than to bring on this tribute to the 9/11 event. Now let's talk about, let's talk about the possibility that Benghazi was overlooked by our leaders. All right? Seriously. Always on my mind. I love that song. No, she's just doing she's improving her knowledge base. She's always learning. Always on My Mind by Willie Nelson. I love this song.
Why as often as I can.
Yeah, this is really sweet. Isn't that great? Yeah. Maybe I didn't love you. She's totally into you. No, that's not true, Wolfgang. You're starting to really bug me there. Who is this person that's doing this? Is that Hitachi doing it? Jeff the Drunk does a better rendition? Really? You don't like Willie's version of that? I thought it was spot on, man.
Maybe I treat you.
He's got such a vibrato in his voice. You hear that where he says,
Treat you.
"Read you.
Maybe I treat you.
Maybe I can't even do it. I mean, he's got a great voice. Who's doing that? Can somebody help me out here? Wolfgang, is that you? Hawk, is that you? Who's doing that? Enough singing. Thank you, David Nation. All right, let's move on. The U.S. is pinning hope on Syrian rebels with loyalties all over the map. But that's just really the outer surface. When you scratch and sniff, you realize we are in a convoluted mess that the CIA put us in. Our nation seems to be all over the map in terms of what we are doing in this region. They've got ISIL, they've got ISIS, they've got forces, Al-Qaeda forces, they've got Taliban. They don't even know who they've got now. They just know that they want to fight terror. This isn't any different than what George W. Bush did when he lulled us into an attack on Iraq and Afghanistan, even though they didn't have anything to do with the attack on the World Trade Center. Like I said earlier, the 9/11 Commission report stated emphatically that 17 of those terrorists, of those 18 terrorists, were from Saudi Arabia. So if that's the case, why didn't we attack Saudi Arabia? But now we've got all these ISIS attackers and people coming in, and it's getting weird, it's getting hot, it's getting disturbing, it's getting wild. Why is it heating up? All artificial. It's all artificially created. They are trying to cover up a massive monetary gap in their system, in their fractional reserve banking system. We are right on the verge right now of a nation that could have an economic collapse, and they don't want anyone to know that. So what better way than to basically divert our attention? Okay, is that simple as that? It's real simple. That's the best way to describe it. At this point, Saudi is our greatest ally, 3-9. I don't dispute that at all. Dave, they weren't directed out of Saudi Arabia. That's why we don't attack them. Well, if you say that the Saudi Arabian people that weren't directed out of Saudi Arabia all committed this terrible attack on the Trade Center, we are supposed to now attack anybody in the region? Is that the general drift, that we're attacking terror in general? Well, terrorism has been going on for perhaps 2,000 years. To think it's some new anomaly is just ridiculous. Yet our government continues to develop reasons to have a war. Got to go. Take care, Mountain Dave. Good night. So why is it we keep concocting reasons to have wars when we've got nuclear power? Russia has a nuclear arsenal. China has a nuclear arsenal. We have the largest nuclear arsenal. Why is it we have to continue to start little wars to stamp out the terror? We could use UAVs to do this, and frankly, a surgical strike is necessary at times to get rid of the genuine enemies that are out there. But if we look deeply at this problem, you'll see a lot of those UAVs are hitting collateral targets, and there's collateral damage going on. I talked a little bit about the Dirty Wars last night, a movie that you can see on Netflix. Dirty Wars is about just what's going on behind the scenes that we don't see. So everything we see in America is antiseptic. Everything is all filtered through the news. So we're all looking at the news here. Let me scroll up. Everything you see basically is just, you know, here's something Kerry's saying. This could be a piece of propaganda, and it is. This show sucks. Dave will never be president. Dude, that's worthless crap coming out of you. I do a video gaming session so people can relate to what I'm doing every day. I don't mind enjoying the benefits of technology. In fact, gaming is the best part of this show. Thank you. I wish I could game live on Vaughn, but they don't want me doing it. They want to take me over to Instagift. Do you mind not making death threats against Bish? Thanks. Yeah, Donald Rumsfeld slipped up and said a missile hit the Pentagon. One of the 9/11 commissioners, Tom Romer, also said a missile did the damage. Yeah, and I showed everybody Guess 322 that a missile did hit the Pentagon. Even the 15 frames we saw had to do that. Okay, here, according to John Kerry, Arabs give tepid support to U.S. fight against ISIS. Same kind of thing George W. ran into when he went out there looking for a coalition of the willing. People died fighting for democracy. Laura and I never did that. But I think that there's something really wrong here. We're doing the same thing we've done over the past 5 decades. In other words, we're fulfilling Albert Einstein's prophecy that if you do the same thing over and over again, repeatedly, and expect different results, it's his definition of insanity. Kind of wild, huh? Kind of wacky. Yeah. Well, what if I told you that we are so far down the rabbit hole that we cannot extricate ourselves from the rabbit hole? We are now in brain drain land. And no matter what I say on this show in the blogosphere, I'm not going to be able to generate enough traction to prevent the coming wars that are going to be fought unnecessarily, unless you somehow develop the will to fight back and get a political voice in America by joining America's Third Party, by becoming part of what we're doing every night. Now, you can get a sign right now. You can go to our website and you can get a sign. You can put it on your front lawn. That would be a big statement right there. Topper Dan, we're not counting on you. You'll be out of the show in probably about 2 or 3 months, permanently. I'm only keeping you in here right now while things kind of heat up. Bish, hello. Thank you for coming in. Rodney supports your concepts of being a spawn-on girl. I haven't seen a video, Bish, but don't worry about it. This is tough. I haven't gained anything from the haters. That's the whole point. You know, I don't have a hotline for Bish right now. I don't have Skype running. Let me get back to the Google News. This guy looks kind of like he's all washed up. John Kerry, he's the largest investor of anybody in Washington in stocks. Help is on the way. Remember when he ran with John Edwards, that the guy who was allegedly using his funds illegally? Turns out he wasn't charged with illegal use of funds, but whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Wake up, Jerry. Okay, you just jealous of him, Dave? No, not at all, Stealth Bio. I'm not jealous of him because, frankly, I am nothing like this guy at all. This guy is an elitist. I am not. That's the difference right there. Plus, he has a face that's almost impossible for me to duplicate, which makes it very difficult for me to do what I'm about to do. But what you're about to see, do not perform this at home with your own XSplit program. This could be very difficult. If you're about to see my face contort into his face, and I didn't get a Yale education because I didn't come from privilege. Don't adjust your dial. This is only a test. Help is on the way. Help is on the way.
Help is on the way. I'm trying to be Secretary of State. I'm doing a good job with plastic surgery, and things are working out. I'm also one of the richest guys in D.C. Help is on the way.
Please do not try that at home. This is just a test. This was a test of the Emergency Imitation Impersonation Center. In the event of an emergency, I will be able to do all of the different faces of every Secretary of State, Defense, Interior, Education, to provide immediate relief in a nation that could very well slip into tyranny. This is only a test. So for the next few minutes, I will now conduct a test where I pretend to be Secretary of State and do the kinds of things that he should be doing. No, I'm not going to do that. Take it away. Take it away. When you merge, you look like Bush? Really? Well, thanks. At least you had a feel-good moment where you felt like, gee, something else was going on in the show other than what you were seeing earlier when Rodney ruined everything by calling in. Yeah. I'm living my dream, man. That's right. I used to dream about having a utility at my disposal where I could actually adjust videos. In fact, to this day, I'm looking more for a Minority Report type of setup here.
No, I'm not telling you that. Get a life. Get a life, Rodney. Get a life.
No, this show is, you're not even here for a reason. And this is not your show, Rodney. So take a hike. Go find another show. Why don't you help Conan O'Brien? I understand he's struggling with his ratings. Maybe you can hang out with Howard Stern. I know that guy's contract is ending in about a year. All right, take care, Rodney. Tandalejo, hello. Mr. S, will you go on the net and calm us down in the event of a false flag? Yes, I will. I'm trying to talk to people tonight candidly about the questions that we still have about World Trade Center attack in Benghazi. And I keep getting sidetracked. There is no wig here, Topper Dan. I keep telling that to people. You can see my scalp, for crying out loud. I mean, give me a break. Oh, you're thinning. When I point out my scalp, you're saying, oh, you're thinning. You have any idea how expensive it is to get a wig look like your scalp? It's all natural. Oh my gosh, we're getting another call.
Oh my gosh.
What? Drew Carey's calling. Hey, Drew, what's going on, man?
Hey, I'm just curious as to why you resent Rodney for being the star of your show.
He's not the star of our show. That guy didn't even stay on the line. Unreal. Wow, it just calls and hangs up. Okay, don't let them sidetrack you. No, it's a plot to get you off task like what they do to high school teachers who are teaching important stuff. Thank you, Tandaleo. That's true. I know he was still there because that's you, 28078. No, Rodney's not stealing the show. Neither are you. Dave, those wigs all have flesh-covered caps. You prove nothing when you show your scalp, your so-called scalp. Oh my God! It wasn't Drew Carey, Hill. You made a banger. That's more than a banner. It's a banger. Realizing you won't ever be president and be like, awesome, Carl. Oh, that's good. That's a good banger. You're banned. You know, a lot of you are really going to feel bad, like 390028, when he realizes that people are going to go off to a war that doesn't need to be fought. People are going to be dying in the Ukraine. They're going to be dying in Syria, all because you've got a warring president, a hawkish president, who continues to put his henchmen out here like John Kerry and Chuck Hagel. People that are promoting this concept of fighting terror no different than what George W. Bush did, and leading our nation astray down that road to ruin again, where people lose their lives. This is not something that you could possibly understand if you just grow up living off the fluoridated water and following the public school system. You have to dig a little deeper than this to understand that our country is being led so far down the road to ruin, it's sickening. We need to get back to what really matters in this country, our flag, our patriotism, our nation, and stop listening to these essential ne'er-do-wells people that want to literally create more havoc around the world are promoting this fear of terror. Now, yeah, there are terrorists out there. Yes, they do exist. But do we have to go out and do surgical strikes in every country around the Middle East in order to start this, or prevent this caliphate, or whatever they call it? They're creating the caliphate themselves. They're putting together the propaganda within the secret war rooms of the CIA. They're orchestrating this so that they can continue to create some sort of an event that will take your mind off of the reality that our economy is broke. We are completely backed up against the fence right now. Our creditors are calling in their tickets, and we don't have enough to cover the nut. Jobs are down. In real terms, there's less tax money coming in. Seriously, 50% of the population isn't even paying taxes. It's all just basically coming down on these people, and a lot of municipalities and cities are going bankrupt, like Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, Oakland, California. The list goes on and on. Let's not forget Detroit. Let's talk about net neutrality, but right now I'm talking about our country and the future of our nation. Let's not get sidetracked. We are broke. We're belly up. So they'd rather keep our eyes on a war that can't be won. It's like some imaginary thing here. Oh, let's just create something that we'll all like focus on while we're forgetting our nation is going out of money, running out of money. They're printing up $65 billion a month and giving it away to Wall Street, mortgage-backed security holders, you name it. The American people aren't getting squat. Well, I'd like to tell them to stop, but I can't. You see, the real people suffering from this whole thing, it's not the people in Wall Street. They can always print up more money and give them more. The real people are actually, the ones that are suffering are the people that are using this thing, the almighty dollar, to buy things at the grocery, and they can't possibly get their money back. So what I developed is this concept called hybrid capitalism with Sarah, where we can focus on technology and get the government to work in tandem with the private sector to create economic production in America that will lead to American jobs. All right? This is your money disappearing. This is us writing a book about it to try to make things better. Good night, Sunstar. If you haven't heard about this book, it's the only thing that I could do to propose a system that would actually get the government a return on investment. Will bring back the revenue that is being thrown out in areas like welfare, Section 8 housing, food stamps, farm subsidies, public union pensions, things that are just not returning any revenue. We've got a way to do it with this concept of hybrid capitalism. So you were trying to figure out when I was going to get to the economy. Well, it is the economy, stupid, and I'm not calling you stupid. I'm calling people in general unaware of the dangers of this printed money are falling into the category of just taking out more credit, borrowing more money. How many of you have filled up at the gas tank $50 and seen that gas disappear in 3 days or less? I'm focusing on new production today. Well, the gas companies would like you to believe that your country has no control over gas prices. Stupid is a stupid does. Gas is very expensive now, yeah. You paid $100 just to get to Seattle? What are you driving, like a Suburban or a Hummer? That would be a Hummer going to Seattle. Hey, what's going on? You drive a Hummer, wow. Dave, leave the, truck, okay. Leave the economics to heavy hitters. Dave, you have to, top or down, I am a heavy hitter. And I want you to know that because I have figured out a solution that most people could never understand called hybrid capitalism, I have an obligation to be a proponent and a protagonist of what I'm talking about, okay? Now, you don't understand it, many people don't understand that the government can actually compete in the free market without being a socialist nation. Right now, we've got more of a socialist nation than I envision in the future for this nation. I believe the government could downsize, spawn new business, new products, build American jobs. I speak from the source of the economy. I speak from innovation. Now, I'm about ready to show you things that we've come up with in our shows and over the years looking into researching ideas that could very well spark new solutions to America. And at the center of that are hybrid capitalist solutions for America is the concept of legalization of weed. Believe it or not, marijuana could produce unbelievable benefits in terms of the allowance of hemp to be produced. We could have hemp houses like this, built in America, that are completely energy efficient, saving up to 70% on energy. Prefabricated houses like this could be airdropped into remote areas. People could live and have their own place. So you can check out CannabisNationRadio.com to find that out. But these are ideas that are central to the legalization campaign, creating a loop in technology and energy. Hemp is fantastic. The government can compete, and the government will compete, and that's the only way we're going to get our taxes down. Every other method is just pie in the sky, smoke and mirrors. Why are you producing a Babylon.org site? I don't get that. How about stop allowing the regulated to regulate the regulators? Well, that sounds pretty complicated. I think if we allow business to thrive without regulation at a low level, at small business levels, we'll be better off. But if we come down hard on the big monopolies that are forming around the country and break them up before they have too much control, then we'll have more for the average person. Senator Wiener, David, do you agree with the concept of it ain't no fun if the homies can't have none? Well, I believe we need to spread the wealth a little bit. I don't mind saying that. Truly. We need opportunity for people at all levels. The only way we're going to stop the problems in Ferguson and other areas around the country is if we have job opportunities for young people, no matter what color. And if the only way we can build new opportunities is if we come up with new ideas and new innovations. Now, I'm not asking everybody to get behind some ridiculous pie-in-the-sky idea of, for instance, let's see, I've got a blimp plane idea people talk about. I'm not asking you to get behind this concept as a solution for American jobs. I really am not. Now, as much as people look at this and they go, wow, what is this? What are you playing? Well, this is an idea in its infancy. It's a concept that I came up with in 2008, I believe, or 2010, something like that, where I talked about this in 2008 with the Boeing Corporation. And they said that they actually had ideas to create cargo planes like this. Hemp is very nutritious, I agree. Well, imagine the blimp plane made out of hemp, for instance. Highly dense plastic. Now, you know that Henry Ford created a plastic car made out of hemp. You know that, right? Well, the outer substructure was originally going to be carbon fiber, but I'm thinking more along the lines of hemp tarping. Yeah. No, I'm kidding. Actually, the Hindenburg had kind of a canvas hemp exterior. That's one of the reasons why the Hindenburg came down.
Actually, it was even more flammable than that.
I know. Hemp is very flammable. No, I'm talking more about the idea of a Kevlar outer exterior with an exoskeleton made out of carbon fiber. Yeah, and dense plastic can be very heavy. I agree. Are you Hitler, David? No, my name is Sponheim. Slightly German in origin, but my heritage comes from Norway. Yeah. Time for Sponheim. Hemp is not cannabis. Well, it is related to the anti-cannabis laws. They can't grow hemp except for research purposes in most of the states of the country right now, because it is illegal nationally. Cannabis is. But hey, if you want to go into the details, hemp has 1% of THC. you need at least 10% THC to get high. So it's not like people can burn hemp. But anyway, we're talking about blimp planes now. Or better yet, let's not talk about blimp planes. Let's talk about something else that might spawn new innovation. Let's talk about Amazon Prime. Now, what if the government took this idea that Amazon has of sending things around the world using UAV technology? Have you seen this video? It's pretty cool. Yeah, Bob, we're going to do net neutrality. I'll get to that in just a few minutes. Continue watching your porn. Download. Yes, check this out. Isn't this amazing? I take it very seriously. Initially, they got these things up and running in a test area, and the Supreme Court said they couldn't run. And then the Supreme Court modified it and said, yeah, we're going to look at this as a possibility. This is the future. Amazon's not paying me to do any of this. I'm just talking about something that they're talking about. It's called Technology Thursday. Is that all right? But you have government doing that with USPS. Why can't we make our own UAVs? I proposed this in the re-election, why the Navy can't make their own UAVs. Why with all this old technology? You know that the F-8s, F-35s are 20-year-old technology? Okay, let me give you one more point I wanted to make about this blimp. I'm not on this with your towers. I want to show you what innovation will do. If this works, and I think it will, we use the infrastructure of 747s that we got sitting around ready to mothball. We're going to use them well into the future. Each 747 or 730 cost upwards of $350 million apiece. Well, we're not looking for campaign sponsorships. We're not allowed to do that, Hill.
They can sponsor you.
Well, they could do a separate campaign themselves, but
really know about it.
Yeah.
They can't ask you for how to do it, or
yeah.
it can't be in collaboration.
Anyway, that's the deal.
As far as I know.
I'm not homosexual. I've never had a homosexual relationship. You're asking me that. I'm not gay. I don't have any interest in gayness. Why is it people ask me that all the time? I don't get that.
Because they probably are themselves attracted to it.
I'm not hiding anything, but I think that these people are looking at me as like some sort of a gay person so that they could have fantasies about me or something.
Yeah, I agree.
I consider that sexual harassment, what you're doing. And groups, just because I didn't talk about net neutrality fast enough for you, now you become like this wannabe gay guy? Interesting. Will not legalize crack cocaine. No. Barack Obama won't be able to get access to crack legally. Okay, you guys can do whatever you want. Yeah, you can be gay all you want. You ladies can be gay if you want. It doesn't matter to me. I'm having fantasies about you right now, Dave. God, man. Rob Ford for Prez. Trav, you really had to grab the bottom of the barrel on that one, didn't you? I mean, Rob Ford, a guy who's now got an enlarged tumor in his gut. You hear? It looks like he's got a tumor happening. This is one of his quotes.
Litigation will be starting shortly. I've had enough. That's why I warned you guys yesterday. Be careful what you wrote. Okay, so that's all I have to say for now. And the next thing I want to call Mayor Britannia in Hamilton and tell him that we're going to have to spank the little tiger cats. Oh, on the left.
He's quite a character, all right, yeah, but having a tumor for all intents and purposes could be a life changer, yeah. He needs to get his act together. And I would urge people like Chris Christie, if he really wants to run for president, he should work out every day like I do. I work out. I don't lust after any of those people. I don't lust after, I'll have no lust for any of those people, including Chris Christie. I'm not gay. What about this guy? People are booing. He walks around talking about presidential campaign. Yeah, Ted Cruz.
Enough, Wolfgang. Don't mess with the spawn.
Yeah, look at that. So Ted can't get any traction in the campaign. Christie is worse than Romney. Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, you might as well get Captain Kangaroo out there. I mean, even though he's not anymore, he could run president. You know, maybe a robot, like an audio robot, or maybe a munching on donuts. I am your first robotic presidential candidate. I eat donuts incessantly. I'm Dave, and I'm not gay, not a racist. Not Captain Kangaroo. But maybe I am. I also look like Captain Kangaroo. Oh, this is getting weird. No, Dave, don't do it. Don't do it, Dave. You can't do it, man. He has a slightly larger face. I'll come in from behind. Don't get excited. I'm coming in from behind. Hi, everybody. Captain Kangaroo and Mr. Greenjeans. Oh, God. I'm getting so bored by just doing my show and my shtick and listening to a Christie impersonation. I can't do it. Thanks, Rubes. Your fantasies are running rampant through your head. Yeah. Captain Daveroo. All right, well, we're having some fun. That dress is just phenomenal. I remember when you got it, and I was like, it was like on the sale rack. I couldn't.
Yeah, it was on the sale rack. Because it's kind of small, and most people couldn't fit it because it's very small.
Okay. I'm going to take some Skype calls.
If that's okay with you. Maybe I could set up We can just
no, I'm going to take the Skype calls myself.
You want me to be here?
Yeah, I don't want to talk to people. Like if somebody calls, like if Bish calls, I don't want to be talking to Bish, you know, without you present. Yeah, that would not be good.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell that to David Wolfgang.
Yeah. Okay, here comes our Skype show, everybody. The after show has just begun. Drop that 0 and get it with a hero. 0. Wolfgang, yeah. David, what's your opinion on the Robin Williams incident, the impact that depression has on our country and the children? Freed PSYOP, thanks for releasing yourself from bondage.
I think I'll be right back. I gotta draw out some of my hair.
Yeah.
But then I want to address that issue if I can.
Sure. Okay. Frankly, Robin Williams his death is pretty touching to me because I actually had a chance to see Robin Williams in person before he was famous. Topper Dan, that's so sick for you to try to buy some woman in the room. I'm going to ban you.
Okay. So if you want me to tell you, all right, so I think that depression does have a major impact on our children. I think, children sometimes don't laugh enough. I was talking to David about this the other day.
David who?
You.
Oh, me.
I was talking to you the other day, David.
I'm the other
Remember
guy.
about how, children are people.
Yeah.
And sometimes adults see children like as a lower caste. We live in a caste society with like lower income levels and things like that.
Yeah.
But they see children as a completely, totally low class.
They do, and people feel alienated because they feel in a caste system.
What is really interesting about children is that many of us remember things from our childhood that stay with us for our lifetime.
Yeah.
For our entire lifetime.
I'm living with a lot of childhood memories.
Whether it's somebody saying, hey, you've told me things about people writing in your yearbook when you were in 8th grade. When you were a child. I got to tell you. Had a major impact on your life.
I live in a relative retrospective mode most of the time. I actually have a lot of memories from childhood that go deep, and I constantly recycle them in my head, and I can't really take them away. truly. I don't know if you guys do this a lot, but you tend to repeat the negative things in your mind. You notice that?
Yeah, instead of focusing on the positive,
yeah.
We focus on the negative. And, you know, they say it takes, like, you know, 3 positive contact points to overcome 1 negative contact point. And, you know, so it's like, and sometimes, you know, speaking about depression, speaking about emotions, it's sometimes also I've noticed, like, it's really hard in our society, we, at least women, I think it goes for everyone, it's very difficult for us to ask for to be appreciated.
Really, I know.
You know, people, I want to say,
you
David,
expect people to do that. You expect people to appreciate
like, I want to tell you right now that I appreciate you making dinners for me, and
oh, thank you.
And I appreciate that you keep such a clean house. And I want to say I appreciate all of you for watching our show, because it would be awful just talking to just a camera with no chat. It would just feel like, what am I doing and why am I doing it? But really, it's the interaction of the, you know, people are social animals. Oh, I love you too. Thank you.
My concern is that people have a depressive cycle that they don't like to show people, because it is extremely disarming and sensitive. And their sensitive side, their depressed side, is the one that they don't reveal. And when kids are dealing with the kind of depression that Robert Williams must have been dealing with throughout his whole life, they tend to internalize instead of externalize. So even a psychiatrist won't always be able to help these people, because they are, no, we're not saying we're depressed or anything, but people who do have a lot of depression oftentimes don't want to talk about it. You're pretty sensitive. Some of the people in our room right now, good night, Mad Dog. Take care.
Good night, Mad Dog.
Some of the people in our room right now.
And you know what? Love you, I mean it. And Mad Dog, I really, just before you go, I want to say I appreciate how whenever you come into our show, you always like take whoever's in the list and say hi, and you list everybody in the show.
Yeah.
Because that just, I mean, that really makes people feel welcome. Thank you.
I've decided that Sarah is so beautiful that we should just have her fill in for me during this segment, if that's okay. So during this segment, Sarah will be me, and I will just stand here and pretend to
that's so funny.
Laugh. Anyway.
2 Sarahs instead of David.
Or I could just do.
Well, you know, I always wanted to clone myself. I didn't know it would just be on video though.
Well, maybe I could, you know, do you, just in that respect. You know?
Oh, so now you're going to pretend. It's like a merge between us?
Kind of a merge between our faces, yeah.
Let me see. I got to move. Are you moving?
I'm moving. The more you move, the harder it is to do this. But
if
you just stay right there, I can talk over you, and it'll look like you're talking. Isn't that great? I'm having so much fun. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, David's hilarious.
But
thank you, Whitey.
That is creepy, yeah. Somebody did somebody this afternoon, really? Somebody did somebody this afternoon.
But really, you know, when you're talking about children and depression, it does strike a chord, because
Thanks.
I don't want children to be depressed. And, you know, there's this great story I read this week. There's this lady. She's about to retire. I think this is her last year, or she just retired. I can't remember. But anyway, every Friday afternoon, she asked kids to write on an index card 4 kids that they would like to sit next to for the coming week, and 1 kid that they really think is just exceptional, did a great job that last week. So anyway, when she says, you know, you can ask to sit next to him, but you might get it, you might not. But she takes the cards home over the weekend, and she looks at all the cards, and she tries to figure out who's not being asked to sit next to them, who's not being chosen.
Wow. Oh.
Tries to target those kids and really make them feel welcome. She goes out of her way to make them feel welcome and make them feel appreciated. And
so she
this lady who interviewed her asked her, when did you, and she said right after Columbine.
Oh, wow. See, people alienated, like the men, the boys, I should say, Columbine, but they were under a serious amount of Prozac at the time. I don't think people know that Dylan Klebold was on. All the people in Columbine were on Prozac heavily. Prozac, in case you didn't know, is concentrated fluoride eyebrows. So, first of all, it's important to go out of your way to get treatment by pharmaceuticals to get even worse. And the big pharma industry would admit a lot of people Prozac having adverse reactions end up being ballistic, or super depressed. Now, Robin Williams was being, and I don't know what drug he was on, but he was on drugs to deal with depression. I'm trying. The issue is depression. You can't turn positive or something negative into something positive, and you can't turn something positive into something negative if you don't have the yin yang going. So yeah, we are going to live in a world of negative at all times. That's what we all deal with.
But really, I mean, you have to. I think it's better to focus on the positive. It's a negative will be there no matter what, but you don't have to dwell on the negative. You know, you have to make a conscious effort to focus on the positive.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
At least I do, and I do try to make a conscious effort to focus on the positive. I'm not positive all the time. I get crabby just like everybody else. But
he was.
Yeah.
I know. Well, that's the thing. You know, I like your positive approach. You have to micromanage your own personality. Each and every one of us have to micromanage our own personality in the same way that it makes sense for us. Not the way I do it, not the way Sarah does it. One of the choices that I made was to pursue what really matters to me above all else. You may not think that's a good decision long term because you may think I'm a joke and I'm doing the wrong thing or wasting my time. Some people. I enjoy him and I embrace him and I love me. In fact, I give myself a little hug and I love me.
I love you too.
Thank you. See what I love me? She loves me too.
You can fill your own bucket. You can be a bucket filler and fill your own bucket.
So love is a many splendored thing.
And I love all of you. Thank you.
A big group hug. And let me.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Hug.
Thanks. Okay. Now, a lot of you are a little overexcited. That was not designed to be exciting in that way. Whatever. I don't even know what a hug is. See,
Aww.
force a hug and so long. The reason a lot of people are looking for communication, Sarah, is because they're not getting enough of it in their personal life. We are living in a collectively separate world, which seemingly is getting more collective separate, not closer. We all live in our little yellow submarines, if you will, incubators, our cars. In fact, if you close the windows and sit in there during a hot day, you will incubate. Love is a many splendored things. Show of hands. Okay. There's no tricks here. We're not going to show feet. That's irrelevant. But the thing is, we have to somehow be able to use this medium, this rich internet medium that we have available. And this is the technology that we are using, which is so cool. Apple's coming out with a watch that I envisioned way back in the 1930s when I was watching Dick Tracy. I don't want a Google Watch, but if I get a watch, it'll be a Dick Tracy Google Watch. You know, I'm not from the 1930s. Don't worry. That'd be kind of weird if I was like 90 or 100.
No, can you see if I can talk about other things without needing some magic to do so?
I'll tell you, what I'm doing is trying to maintain an opportunity for all of you to communicate, even if you dislike what I'm showing you. A lot of people disagree with our ideas. That's fine. I don't have a problem with that.
I don't mind the trolls as long as you keep it all in good fun.
Well, there was a guy back in the 1930s called Dick Tracy. He was a cartoon character that had a watch that he communicated on. And people thought, wow, this is sci-fi. And here we are, what, 85 years later, doing exactly that. It's just amazing. I mean, we are truly advancing exponentially as a society in terms of technology. In terms of our society, our social life, we're all becoming collectively separate and less interconnected. That's why we need this medium to bridge that gap. Good night, Whitey. Thanks for coming in and
Good night.
hanging out. Take care, man. Okay, we got Rodney coming in claiming to be somebody he's not.
Good evening.
Who are you, Rodney, and what's your voice tonight?
Hey, Sarah, it's Rodney. I just wanted to let you know that
Sarah.
Dave doesn't want...
I'm sorry. Did you say you addressed me, Rodney? The correct approach is, hello, David. May I talk to Sarah? Try that again. Yes, Rodney?
Hello, Discount. I haven't met...
Let's try this again. You have one other... Strike 3, you're going to be out on this one. All right. I control the horizontal and the vertical. Always remember that. Yes. Can I help you? Hello.
Hi, David. How are you?
I'm doing great. Can I help you?
Yeah, I have a message for Sarah, if I could.
Sure. Go ahead.
Sarah, Discount doesn't want me on the program anymore, so I'm just calling to say goodbye.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, thanks for coming in anyway, Rodney. You're going to be sorely missed somewhere, sometime, someplace. I mean, you know, a guy only his mother loves, you know, comes in here and tries to find a new girlfriend. Doesn't really work. Yeah. Well, thanks for coming in.
If you didn't try to take over.
Well, if he wasn't so derogatory, we wouldn't have to say good sayonara to the Rodney character, you know. But yeah, we'll miss you. But don't worry.
He'll have his, you know, own show and everybody.
Yeah.
You guys know it.
You guys will eventually tune into Rodney someday. Okay.
I'm sure he
No
is
great loss.
deep down.
Now we can talk about politics without sidetracking with Muslim hatred and all this garbage that comes out of his mouth. Yeah. Well, yeah, Sarah, you know, you've got a couple dresses like that. They're equally beautiful, and I like the all cotton feel, you know? I really do. All right, 9/11, Benghazi, bad situation. Chris Stevens died. There is evidence that somebody saw him in the hospital still alive, yet it was suppressed by the FBI. 60 Minutes report was pulled, and the people were reprimanded for playing a story that claimed, hey, Rodney.
Sarah, I love you.
Oh, that's so funny. Good for you. Love. I think we really got it worked up. He was getting a little miniature erection, if you will, thinking about the idea of somebody actually talking to him, real terms. You know, a lot of you have never had anyone really talk to you. And I'm talking directly to you right now. Are you looking at me? I'm looking at you. You looking at me?
Time investment for 194.
I've been giving people a lot of fantasies. For some reason, they like something about me. Maybe it's the manliness in me that many men are obviously seeking some mask because they're gay and they're femmes. Or maybe it's women who just like guys who are manly men, like me.
Rodney,
Manly man.
I don't think he plays any musical instruments. I don't think he's in a band. Well, I mean, he does have a great
He plays his
voice.
organ real well, Sarah. This is the
Yes,
problem.
he has a great voice that he changes.
No, he doesn't. He's not more manly grooves. You're just obviously more attracted to manly men because you're some sort of a femme. Skin flute. Yeah, he plays a very rare instrument. It's developed a long time ago. It's chromosomal history. It's called the skin flute. You should have Rodney in your cabinet when you become president. What would be his cabinet position?
That's fun.
Body man like Reggie Love. You know, Reggie Love was Barack Obama's body man. Dave, you're one of the most feminine men I've ever seen.
I don't know. I haven't.
You haven't met manly men before. Yeah. You've never seen a guy talk with a deep, resonant voice like I have? Well, you lost my vote when you came in as such an obvious, bi-curious homophobe. So I'm going to ban you too. I don't know the answer to the E-Sig dilemma. I don't need a degree to trip shits. I've got 185 IQ. A person with 185 IQ doesn't need a degree. He spent a lot of time in the cabinet. in the cabinet, literally, under the cabinet, behind the cabinet, in between the cabinet. I'm sure he was doing the splits around the cabinet. We're not going to attach a balloon to the presidential helicopter. No, there won't be a helicopter around that.
Someday, Carlos.
I know, Sharon Stone has an IQ of 160. So here's an interesting matchup. Today we found out in the news that Neil Young is dating Daryl Hannah. Now talk about two people that are here to kick into next gear. That's a win-win, it's me. I had a chance to meet Daryl Hannah when she was dating Jackson Brown. She was a beautiful woman. No, I'm afraid not. The 135 was, that was another assessment. Do the thing where crossing your legs, make them, we can talk about any anecdote you want. Well, I think Neil Young and Daryl Hannah would make a nice couple, personally. I mean, Daryl is very mature now, and you know, her work with PETA is well known. She's an animal rights advocate. I don't know, Jackson Brown didn't do that, no. Jackson Brown did not ever lay a hand on her. Bish has gotten really deep. Bish is talking about how older men like younger girls. Oh. Well, Daryl Hannah and Neil Young are a couple now. This is big news today. I was looking at it. I'm in everything you say, Bish, so far. Someday we'll get a chance to talk on the phone, but for some reason you can't really hook up. We lost one of our longtime caller and verbal users tonight. He left the show, Rodney. So it's unlikely that we're going to see any new calls come in from Rodney until tomorrow, when he calls and harasses us again.
Probably not. Never mind. I don't want to.
Well, wherever they met, I'm liking what I'm seeing. Daryl Hannah's repackaging her new look. Neil Young is just happy to have a beautiful blonde sitting next to him. He's dating Daryl Hannah a month after dumping his wife. That's what happens when you get a brain tumor. No, Stealth Bio, I'm afraid that's not the case. I'm the star of this show. And if someone really believes that I'm the most feminine guy they've ever seen, they haven't been to a gay whorehouse. Yeah, you better go check out the Vulcan Steam Bath in San Diego. Yeah, I've never been there myself, but somebody told me I look just like a guy I met at the Vulcan Steam Bath in San Diego. I'm not agoraphobic. I go outside all the time with my bulletproof garb on, and I'm very safe. Dave, I don't go to gay whorehouses. That's the whole point, trip shits. Don't try to trick me into a weird trip shits conversation. That's not good. I don't know anything about gay houses. I met a guy who was in a band, or he was in a movie called Boys in the Band. I think it was Boys in the Band. Let me see if I can pull up this guy I met. I was sitting in a coffee house, and I met this guy who was an actor in Boys in the Band here. Let me see if I can pull him up. Yeah, that's not it. If I can find his face, I'll show you who I'm talking about. He was a lead actor. Here he is. I met this guy in a coffee shop at about 2 in the morning, and he was dressed in drag. Okay, a friend and I were sitting in the coffee shop, just, you know, after a late night, Saturday night, and this guy is standing there dressed in drag. You think he's sexy? Okay, well, anyway, he stood there and told me, it was just weird. He said, "You look like John Davidson." Seriously. I said, "Really? Okay. I know John Davidson. Let's Google him too." Well, anyway. And I said, "Well, how do you know John Davidson?" Well, I met him at the Vulcan Steam Bath in San Diego. So he had a conversation in cross-dress the whole night. It turns out he was doing, this is the really interesting part of this, is this actor was doing kind of like a mid-acting experience where you go out and become part. I honestly don't even think the guy was gay. But he was playing a part, just pretending Thank you. He was pretending to be gay, I think, to get into the character of Boys in the Band. And we met him right before that movie came out. So it was really weird, but that's where I heard about the Vulcan steam bath. It was just the weirdest thing. No, I'm not gay, and I don't cross-dress. I'm not weird. Nothing wrong with gay. You guys who are gay, or you ladies who are gay, feel free. I support your right to not be discriminated. Hey there, mate, MTM. David, you're getting a kind of suspect. Meta Machiavelli, what do you mean, you think I'm gay? We don't have a web developer. We do this all in-house, thanks. No, nothing wrong with gay. You're weird, David. You just encourage this monster Biffo to encourage all the... No, I just was addressing an issue in here that he was addressing. No, I boast about my intelligence unless people say I need a degree, in which I'm really offensive, because I think colleges are just sheepskin conspiracies designed to turn out coffee cutter, or copy, basically the same kind of person to fit into the structure. I don't teach people how to think. I believe it's a serious topic. I don't believe that cookie Lipschitz is the final assessment tool that you need to decide whether a person is intelligent or not. I'm not gay, I'm not weird. That's right.
Beauty?
That's two separate sentences. I didn't say gay is weird. I'm not gay, I'm not weird. Thank you. I can provide a copy of my IQ test. Datum. I have the actual tests. I'm going to go online with this, and I basically scan it in and put it out there. I have to talk to the publisher to make sure it's legal online. I don't need a degree. It's not important. They're producing people without any creative intelligence. I have tons of creative intelligence. I'm above traditional education, which is why I'm on Bond Live with the most elite people of the world. Thanks, Bish. I'm very, very clearly listening to everything you say. What is it you're talking about, MTM? I read 6,000 words a minute, so I can address all the issues. You just can't. You can change my life? Well, tell me how. In 2 minutes. Are you selling penny stocks? I like you too, 938. I've gotten to know your number really well. You're rolling on the floor laughing. Kaylee is not, we're not here to prescribe big pharma medication to Kaylee. Will you have a family?
Search engine optimization? Fantastic.
Wow, thanks. You want to help us out? Get it.
Yes, I do know what an HD access file is. I know how to edit it.
Your cousin said he can make you feel like a lady. That's disgusting. That's sexual harassment. I just.
How to use it? How about MTM? Add me on Skype and we'll talk.
Sarah's never had an IQ test. She had a scholarship from Mensa though.
Yeah, I'd be smart for Mensa. Use .png.
I have
I like a picture.
You want to see the hair in my test? I'm not going to show it to you.
Party ping compressor. Oh, to make my images smaller.
Okay, Joe. Well, I'm not ignoring your case. I'll go ahead and unban all and hope to give Grooves a chance to redeem himself.
Okay, third-party ping compressor. I'll have to write that down.
Outlaw football, replace it with gladiator events. Mr. Democrats are torn apart.
I agree.
It's pretty funny, 452.
Like, not right now, like yesterday. I understand my SEO is awful.
Go ahead and make my day. The question is...
It's just I don't have as much time to dedicate to helping my site as I should. I know that's just the tip of the iceberg. You can help me. Okay, Lance. Awesome.
Well, it starts by being incredibly good-looking and handsome and wonderful like I am. Hey, good buddy, how are you?
Sarah will call you while you're working.
I said you have to approach me by saying, hello, Dave. I talked to Sarah. Show some respect.
For 15 years.
I'll tell you,
some respect.
You're the person that I definitely need to
Hi,
talk
Scott. Oh my
That's
gosh.
definitely where I'm suffering from.
Thank you, MTM. You're certified for 15 years. The boss operation. Okay, well,
Maybe we
contact
can-
us.
We can work on it on.
Oh no, you're not developing a private relationship with Sarah, MTM.
No,
Everybody loves you, Sarah. He's gonna secretly
He-
talk to you about. Hey, I'd like to
doesn't
search
need
engine
to
optimize
secretly
you.
talk to me. He can secretly talk to you if you're
I
going to work on the HT access.
I will be
file.
working on it with you. We'll be there together.
Maybe you can do that.
We'll do a
during the day.
threesome. You know, kind of like on the internet. Don't do
If
cigs.
you want to do it, that would be good.
You were banned for being gay? No, Groobs. You were banned for being disrespectful of me. Moi. No, we're not talking about orgies. Stick your head back out of the sand, back into the sand. In and out of the sand, back in the sand you go. Will you born cob queen? That's just weird. You guys ought to slam poetry for some local contest. It'd be really good.
It barely has scratched the surface of that MTM land.
So what has been settled tonight is we decided that the World Trade attack and the Benghazi attack are still question marks.
I'm willing to learn on weekends.
What do you think about Alex Jones?
Okay,
Oh,
listen.
I'll tell you,
I'm reading.
you're gonna be on the red list if you think that the government is putting RFID chips in your stools. You'll be on the blue list if you don't answer the questions about your country and do something.
But don't endorse any political party. Hey, Candy Rain. Hi, the originals. Hi, Candy Rain. You know, we're doing pretty well. We didn't see you for a while, and people are starting talking. I think Piers Morgan is just stuck up. Anyway, Carlos. Practice these impressions? No. Yeah, Benghazi was a hit, Stevens. You didn't want to handle weapons caches over to Al Qaeda in Libya. Thank you. Well, you said a mouthful
Sure, you
there.
can show me a link about my site. Is it Alexa or something? You can go down.
No, that was the psychotic. What do you need? Go ahead.
I'm just going to take this.
Sure. You spent 6 hours today with your tech on my room today. Oh, good. Excellent. So you're working on your room to make it better? Excellent. How will you pay for it? Get real. Imagine I was lying about my job. He started asking me a bunch of questions. I freaked out, and then my friend started laughing at me. Then he liked us, so it proved us both yay. Yeah. See what a winning personality will get you, Bish? Candy Ray says, on the cast room, my sound was coming back at me. Oh, wow. Yes, you had to lower your source video, your source audios. I'm actually in favor of welfare as long as it goes to the right people. I have a plan to cut welfare down. A program coding to eliminate people that get multiple checks the same as. They go to different bank accounts, but the most important, the biggest check to go to that one address.
For later, I was your present. I'm going to click on the link right here.
Okay, a little for us. Okay, thanks. We'll take a look at our access. Just that copy of Charles Manson is hilarious. Okay. All right, let's get back to the show. We are very sad that our president wants to start more wars. We are upset that he has not followed his mandate. Today, just today, Michael Moore, the film director, actually made a comment about how Obama will only be removed first black president, nothing more. And that's coming from a Democrat, folks, who does not like Obama's positions. And I think, even though many of you may not like Michael Moore, I do believe that he embodies some of the liberal thinkers out there. If you talk about Charles Manson, we can do that on Thursday, Monday. right now to focus on negativity. That's the end of the show. Oh my God. Well, thank you. There's a lot more to discuss. We have another show tomorrow, Freedom Friday, slated, to discuss whether our country should go off to war. You know, when they talk about surgical strikes in areas like Syria, it's completely off track from what we originally used the surgical strike idea for. And I was a proponent of the surgical strikes 2 months prior to Obama using them. So I knew in advance that these things would work, and for him to say that they're working great didn't surprise me. But for them to jump track and move over to Syria with the same concept is provocative and lead to World War III with Russia. So we are very concerned about this, and war is not going to help our economy at this time. The military is already draining us dry as it is. The budget we just looked at Wednesday night on our Wasteful Wednesday show, and we found out that the military budget is on track to get to literally $1 trillion by the end of the year. Now this $692 billion Obama approved of. It's on track to get to $1 trillion, the spending that's going on, and now people in Congress are saying we don't have the funds, with a fiscal cliff looming again. We don't have the funds to finance his warship. All right. Thanks for calling, everybody. Even the trolls, obviously, you're trying to get through but can't. We don't take negativity in our show. We try to filter that out. Carlos says good night to you. That's nice. We got a whole line of videos for you that are going to be fun. I'm not hanging up on anybody. I'm ending the show because I'm going to bring up some important technology videos for all of you to look at. Yeah, and 2.3 trillion disappeared the day after day before 9/11. Donald Rumsfeld talked about that. I'd mentioned that almost every show now. Well, the videos are going to be all about technology tonight. But if you want, we'll start with the 9/11 tech stuff, just to give you a kind of a heads-up, round-robin discussion. I'm going to show you, kick it off with a witness that saw just garbage, no body parts, when Flight 93 landed in Pennsylvania. Crash landed. Many people don't even believe that was a real event. And then I'm going to go to the WTC clip of Larry Silverstein saying "pull it," which shows you that there's going to be, obviously was a detonation. And then I'm going to bring you right back into the swing of things with videos about technology. All right? We're not going to focus on 9/11 tonight, but yeah, I'm going to bring you a few things. We've got an interesting concept, the solar roadway video people asked about. I'm going to play that. It's called it's from the Solar Roadways Indiegogo video. Let's see, I've got Richard Branson going to talk about Virgin Galactic, putting people in space. Got, let's see, coming up, Google, the car of the future. It's going to drive itself. That's going to be coming up online, on tap. And a guy who's actually building a nuclear fusion reactor in his basement. That's a pretty funny show. And I'm also going to show you a thing about a bomb shelter that's actually been built here in Washington, not too far from where we are right now. I'll feature the vertical windmill. Josiah. The future of transportation. Anything else? Might look good.
Did you do the organic transit, the little solar-powered car? No, the other one next to it.
Oh, that's a cute one. A little elf. Yeah, you'll like that. Some of you might like a little solar-powered car. And then a 15-minute video on robotics. Cool. And I think I should do something on Benghazi, but before the loop is over. Benghazi is now going into the conspiracy bin because it does look like a cover-up from my perspective. Let's see it. Here it is. All right. Thanks, everybody, for coming in. We'll see you tomorrow night, Freedom Friday. Take care. We'll stop our hangout as well. Good night.
On fire, some small fires in the woods, just small brush fires. The ground smoking, debris everywhere, pieces of metal, paper, insulation, wiring, and I just looked around and no people. I'm thinking, where are the people?
Well, those people aboard Flight 93 who resisted the hijackers are now being remembered as heroes in the history of the